Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a few months, but I did a little bit of personal stuff at work. Plus there was the big storm that happened at the end of January that knocked out power here for a little bit. Plus some family stuff that I may put in a community post if I can remember to get around to it. But overall, I'm back right now. And we are going to work on the bowl projections before our 5 key games between Rutgers and Louisville, Fresno State and New Mexico State, Army-Navy, Oregon and Oregon State, and I forget who the 5th one is. Up against it's been a few months, but work with me here. We will start off with the Poinsettia Bowl between Nevada and New Mexico. Well, actually, hold on. I got the script around here somewhere for that episode while we continue to look through. Nevada is sitting at a 6-6 record, being an at-large team, so this could possibly change. Meanwhile, you have New Mexico sitting at a record of 8-4. And the last key game I had forgotten about is between North Texas and Florida National. So we might come across one of them teams in this. But until then, we have to talk about the New Orleans Bowl between Tulsa and Colorado. Tulsa is sitting at 6-5. Colorado is at 5-7. And I'm planning on doing videos and we have 3 teams that are 5-7. Colorado. Oh, and 2 more from a state that has the current national champions in real life. So we'll get to those, but I'll look through their record and discuss whether or not they should or shouldn't be in a bowl game as an at-large team. But number 2 for that list is going to be Indiana, sitting at 5-7. Going against Missouri, both of them are at-large teams for the PapaJohns.com Bowl. So the game can be like, oh, these 2 teams wouldn't make that good of a matchup. Let's throw these 2 teams together instead. Now, for the New Mexico Bowl, we have Colorado State at 7-5, going against Louisiana Lafayette at 6-6. And I'm pointing out records because if y'all watch the 07 series, Boston College made it in at a 4-8 record, and I despised them ever since in that series. But this new series, well, hard to call it new if it's been off and on for a couple years, but you know what I mean. New universe, new scenarios, all that stuff. All the stuff from the old universe got corrupted because the disc didn't want to work anymore. Meanwhile, for the Las Vegas Bowl, we have our first ranked team in Cal at 8-4 going against UNLV, who's also 8-4. And it makes sense for UNLV to try to defend their home turf one more time, even if it is a bowl game. Now we're off to the Hawaii Bowl between Memphis at 7-5 and Fresno State at 7-4. And this time around, there's not going to be a disease that's going to keep Memphis away from a bowl game this time around. Because in real life, COVID knocked that idea out back in 2020 when Memphis was supposed to go against Hawaii in the Hawaii Bowl, but COVID knocked that out, so Memphis didn't have a bowl game. Then again, 2020 was just a weird year for sports. I mean, like, you had the Browns and the Browns and the Washington football team make it into the playoffs. And the football team had, I believe it was a 5-10-1 record going into the playoffs. It was 5-10-1 or 6-10. I know they had 10 losses. I can't remember if they had a tie or not. But crazy year in sports in 2020. But back to virtual 2007 with the Motor City Bowl between Oklahoma State at 8-4 and Miami of Ohio at 7-4. And I'm pretty sure Miami of Ohio is going to be in Detroit, where this bowl game is going to be happening. Yeah, this doesn't say, but yeah, Motor City Bowl, Detroit. They'll be in Detroit anyways for the MAC championship, so maybe they'll get to stay there if they win the championship. Meanwhile, we're off to the Holiday Bowl, which is happening in between two holidays, between Oklahoma and Oregon State. Oklahoma is sitting at 8-4, and Oregon State sitting at 9-2. Oregon State also being the 15th ranked team in the nation. Although granted, I'm not sure if they'll still be in this bowl game if they end up losing to Oregon. Maybe, maybe not, but we'll find out. Meanwhile, for the Champs Sports Bowl, you have Penn State against Virginia. Penn State sitting at 8-4. Decent record, but for Penn State standards at the time, not that well. Virginia at 7-5, they'll probably take that, 7-5 bowl game appearance, they're going to take it. And a battle for Texas in the Texas Bowl between SMU representing Dallas, Texas, and Texas Tech going in representing Lubbock. Pretty fitting. SMU is 6-6, while Texas Tech is 8-4. On to the Emerald Bowl for our third Texas team here in a row. This time it's the 17th ranked Longhorns up against the Oregon Ducks. Though I'm pretty sure this one can easily be changed if Oregon loses to Oregon State. Stay tuned for whenever I do that episode. Now for the Meineke Car Care Bowl, you have Maryland at 8-3 against Notre Dame at 9-3. Then you have the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, in which Kentucky, sitting at 6-6, is going to go up against the 11-1, 18th ranked Tampa Bay Lightning, in which they have been on an 11-game win streak since their opening season loss to Virginia Tech. Heck, in which that was part of me trying to record the games and post them on the channel quarter by quarter because I'm not able to do full-length videos. I'm guessing because I don't have the technology for it. But y'all probably stopped watching the videos like halfway through when it was becoming a blowout anyways. The Alamo Bowl, we've got Navy against Iowa. Navy sitting at 6-5 as an at-large team. And, of course, them being an at-large team makes sense because of them being independents. But will that change if Army beats them? Who knows? Now we've got the MPC Computers Bowl, which nowadays is the Idaho Potato Bowl, between Clemson at 7-5 against Iowa State. That's also at 7-5, so it's going to be interesting to see who walks out of there with a win. And here's the third 5-7 team in Purdue, going to the Petro Sun Independence Bowl against Ole Miss. Both teams are at large teams, and maybe the game will decide, and we don't want these two teams going against each other, we'll have these two teams go against each other. Next we have the Armed Forces Bowl between UCLA and San Diego State. UCLA sitting at 7-5, while San Diego State 8-4, in which they could have beaten TCU. Would have been interesting to see them beat TCU, but can't always get what you wish for. Now we have Arizona State against Rutgers in the Brute Sun Bowl. Although this can really change if Rutgers doesn't beat Louisville. And Rutgers has been ranked, unranked the entire year. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Meanwhile, the Music City Bowl, you have Tennessee sitting at 8-4 up against Boston College, who's also 8-4, back where they started the season, 25th in the standings. Now you have the Chick-fil-A Bowl between Mississippi State at 8-4 against Florida State at 9-3. Next we have ourselves the Insight Bowl between Arkansas State and Michigan. Should be pretty interesting if that actually happens, because Kansas State's in at 8-4, Michigan's at 7-5, and losing 2 in a row, Kansas State could take advantage of a weakened morale Michigan team. Outback Bowl. I think this is our actual first ranked, fully ranked matchup. Yeah, it's our fully ranked matchup, and it's between the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Wisconsin Badgers. Both teams in at 9-3. My prediction here is the team that has red in their logo will win. Next, we have the AT&T Cotton Bowl against future SEC rivals in real life. But in this game, just bowl game competitors in LSU and Texas A&M. LSU is ranked 9th in the nation at 10-2, while Texas A&M is sitting at 9-3, ranked 12th in the nation. Next we have number 8 Florida sitting at 10-2, going to the Capital One Bowl against Northwestern, who's also sitting at 10-2, but all the way down at 24th. Next we have the Toyota Gator Bowl between 20th ranked West Virginia against 16th ranked Miami, Florida, in which both teams are sitting at 9-3. Well, which bowl game is going to be better considering the record? Who knows? Meanwhile, your Rose Bowl game is going to be between the Minnesota Golden Gophers and the USC Trojans at 10-2 each, and Minnesota winning the Big Ten and all that craziness. They're my favorite champs, and heck, I'm going to be winning the SEC championship with McNary Central. Now you have the All-State Sugar Bowl between Hawaii and Ohio State. Hawaii is one of 3 teams undefeated at 12-0. Ohio State sitting at 10-2. And Hawaii is just on the outside looking in for a bowl game, so, Now for the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, you have Nebraska and Virginia Tech. Nebraska is ranked 7th, Virginia Tech's ranked 5th, both sitting at 10-2, so that should be an interesting game right there. And then we have the FedEx Orange Bowl between Mickey and Louisville. Louisville, since this goes to the Big East champion anyways, Louisville's already locked it up, so it doesn't matter if they win or lose, which kind of sucks in this situation. So it's basically Rutgers has to go all in to win, I think. Meanwhile, if Mickey doesn't blow the ACC championship game, they're going to the Orange Bowl. Then you have randomly Toledo versus Pittsburgh in the International Bowl, and you have with Toledo being 8-4 and Pittsburgh being 9-3. I have both teams here are 10-1. Central Michigan against UCF. Central Michigan is 7-5, while UCF is 6-6, going into the GMAC Bowl. Oh, why do you have these 2 bowl games after these big games right here? I have no idea, but I'm not the one who made the bowl schedule back in 2007. I was still in middle school. No, I was still in elementary school at the time. And then, of course, you have your national championship game between TCU and McNary Central, the other 2 undefeated teams. So, there's that. And yeah, it's going to be a painful setback for TCU in the BCS championship game. But that is all for this episode, and I will see you all next time.